Everything looks to be on course for another record year of small boat crossings. 6,700 people have been pulled from about 200 odd small boats in the English Channel. Now, of course, if you do some extrapolation, you think, well, 3 times the first 4 months of this year, that doesn't get you to the 28,500 people who crossed the English Channel last year, but it doesn't work like that. These first 4 months of the year are clearly the wildest months in terms of the weather in the English Channel, and there are days, many days, the majority of days when it's just not suitable for these small boats to come across. So the fact that we are now at a figure of just under 6,700 people who have crossed the English Channel in what is the first 4 months of the year, that is far higher than it was last year. It shows that we are on course now to be well ahead of the 28,500 who crossed last year. And yesterday, Border Force, controlled now by the Royal Navy, were out there in force. The lifeboats also involved in picking up some 263 people who were on 7 boats trying to cross the Channel. It's not so calm out in the Channel today, so only one attempted crossing. But as the weather improves later in the week, we can expect again many more to try to make that crossing.
I mean, by this point, we're all very familiar with the government's plans to start sending some of these illegal migrants or migrants who are accessing the UK illegally over to Rwanda for processing. My understanding is Denmark are also now in talks with Rwanda to try and employ much the same policy.
Yes, and I think that news will be welcome as far as Boris Johnson and Priti Patel is concerned. There has been a great deal of criticism from MPs, politicians across the political spectrum, as well as human rights groups, about this plan to send the majority, really, of those who cross by irregular routes, so those crossing in small boats and in the backs of lorries, across to Rwanda in what would be a one-way ticket to that country. And if they are then granted asylum, their new life would be in Rwanda. They would not be able to return to the UK at that point. Now, the government says that it doesn't believe this is cruel and inhumane. It is, they believe, the solution that will break the model of the criminal gangs, because if there is no chance of the majority of people being settled in the UK, then that business model that they're selling to these desperate asylum seekers is somewhat diminished. That is at least the hope of the UK government, and now perhaps the Denmark government as well, who've confirmed that they are indeed in talks with the Rwandan government.